Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dust of the Past. Last session,
Things
Mauricio
happened. They sure
and
did. They sure did.
some stuff occurred. Mauricio and Kamakani met up with the rest of the party at Camp Vengeance, and you were all having a rather pleasant conversation with the man until he saw Caylona. At which point both of his eyes started glowing bright blue, and he created a dome of frost that almost dropped half of you and have effectively killed Kamakani. Or, well, that has implications I didn't mean for it to have, but pretty much Constellation got dropped. And after you managed to break through this ice dome, there was no longer any sign of Caylona or Mauricio. At that point, you reunited with everyone else after you were forced out of Camp Vengeance. Marsh is short a leg. And you went off just a little bit outside to set up camp. So we'll start that morning. The sun is beating down the incredible oppressive heat of cold in the present. You can hear insects buzzing around all around you. Nephis, I believe you were holding the majority of this. You have 1 day between you folks left of insect repellent, so you know. And as you are all waking up, you can just hear the sound of like creatures moving in trees or off in the distance, splashes coming from the river. There's only a mile or so away from where you're at. You've all sunken into the earth just a little bit, even though it's not necessarily muddy here, it's still soft.
Just a lovely Cholton morning.
You've run out of supplies a couple days ago, and Azaka has been going out, and she is currently cooking over a fire some of the slabs of meat that she picked up when she was gone. Camp Vengeance. Those of you, especially like Div, who aren't on watch, notice that Azaka doesn't tend to sleep that much.
I wonder why. Not curious enough to run out into the forest and try and find out, but
So we're all awake. We're all awake and greeting the lovely Cholton morning.
great jungle breakfast.
Marcus is just gonna kind of be quiet, rearrange the stuff that kind of got all jumbled around in his bag, just sort of sit on the stretcher and have no leg.
Jasper's gonna just eat breakfast, and he's gonna grab 2 people's worth and bring one over to Marcius.
Marcius is not particularly hungry, but considering everything that happened, and the fact that, we're a little short in supplies, we don't really have the luxury of being nauseous at this time. He just kind of eats, he accepts the plate and eats in silence.
I know it's hard, but we still gotta eat. Still gotta keep moving.
Of course, the show goes on.
The one thing I miss being all the way out here, more than anything, even more than my arm, is toast. Toast and jam. I never thought I would miss something so simple. But knowing that once all of this is over, that can be at home waiting, that's something to keep going for, Something small. It's kind of dumb, I know, but we got to keep moving, right?
Marcius chuckles. He says, "There's no such thing as something dumb if it keeps you going, I suppose. Someday you'll get some toast and jam again, Jasper."
Then all this might be worth it. Breakfast time.
Nephis will go over to Azaka and see what she can do to help her, and also kind of try to be like, so what do you think we should do? 'Cause I don't know what we should do right now. But in a sort of subtle way, she's not saying it outright. She's kind of so what do you think our plans are for the day? Yeah.
Zuka shrugs, and as she does, look like she's pulling out a knife, and she's showing you how you can trim dinosaur meat. But as she says, she just says,
Dinosaur meat.
"I am the guide here. I will try my best to take you where you want to go."
Hey, protein's protein. Come on.
And she taps
No,
she taps the mask, and she says, "I am in your debt. I will take you to your destination, assuming I know how to find it. If not, I will do my best."
Cool. Thank you.
Azaka's score on the real one-meter, just, off the charts, off the charts. Marcius sort of pokes at his knot leg a little bit. He doesn't really look particularly off-put by it. He's just extremely interested, or not extremely, vaguely intrigued by the nothingness that is there now. He's just sort of idly poking at it, his expression very far away.
It's a strange feeling, right? It's a strange feeling, right?
Oh, well, at least it doesn't hurt anymore.
That is fair. That's gets really weird when it starts to itch.
I'll look forward to it, I suppose. Or not. Ugh.
Hopefully we can go somewhere and get you a new one. Nice and shiny.
Marcius's face just shuts down. He says, "Sure. Somewhere else."
No, we're certainly not going to find you a new one anywhere around here.
Not find.
We could make one, at least a temporary one, help you get around a little easier.
Marcius's hands are shaking now. He flips them one back and forth, looking at his palm and then looking at the back of his hand. I can't make one. That's not who that I don't make things.
Well, I mean,
He shakes his head. Sorry, that's
we can all
not important right now.
put things together. It's not like it has to be anything super fancy right now. Get you a cool peg leg.
Marcius nods slowly. Can any of you carve wood?
Hmm.
Hang on 1 second. Zephyrus is like rifling through his bags.
Dave is proficient with Smith's tools.
Aha!
Yes, if only we had a forge and some metal we could use.
All you would need is the metal. Div is a forge.
That's true.
Zeph rifles around his bag a little bit, and then triumphantly pulls out a little set of woodcarver's tools. Right here.
See?
Marcius sort of chuckles. I'll admit I wasn't expecting that. You're full of surprises.
I suppose so. Zephyrus is kind of like looking around and is like, any particular type of wood you're partial to?
Marcius looks down. He says, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. He shakes his head. Whatever you think is best, I suppose.
Zephyrus is definitely.
Is that the dog?
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
love the dog. No, it's
He's
great.
so loud. I don't know what to do. He won't tell me what's wrong. He's just so sad. Baz, it's okay. Zeph is gonna look around. He looks at Marcius like for a half second. Just like kind of confusedly. But then he kind of shakes himself as well and yes, please. I'm trying to role play. Please. I beg you.
That's just Marcius's inner monologue.
Yeah, do we have any did anybody save any pieces from Emrys? Out of curiosity.
You might want to check Div's backside. I don't know.
Excuse you.
Roasted.
You squished him. Are
I
there
didn't
trees
squish
around,
him. I tore
Scott?
him in half.
In total, yes, yeah, there's some trees.
In the jungle.
Yeah, I can pick up a stick, throw it, and hit a tree. Got it.
It'd be harder to
Is
not do
there-
that.
Yeah,
Then
I
it
try
would be
not
to
to
do it.
throw things. Is there a tree around that's got a branch low enough to be able to grab?
Most of the branches are they're easy to climb up to, at least somewhat, because there are vines that dangle down, that come down from the branches. Going up.
Got it. Has anybody got an axe? Get a good branch over here.
I think I have an axe. There's like a hatchet in my woodcarver's tools.
Glance over at Nephis with a giant great axe on her back.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Here, first try using one of my two hand axes first, because this great axe is very important. to
I
me.
don't want to break your big axe.
Yeah, here you go. Take one of the hand axes. Enjoy.
Jasper takes it and tries to hack a branch off.
Jasper, the branches are gonna be above your reach.
Eh. I'm not climbing up there. I can't.
Azaka takes it from you, and she says, I have a lot of experience climbing the trees here.
Thank you. I just need something leg sized.
She like pretty easily scales the tree and then hold herself up until she finds a branch that she's satisfied with and sit down and then drops back down.
Yeah, Jasper takes the branch over to Marcius. What do you think? It's not done yet, just started, but
Looks plenty like a leg. Marcius is looking extremely uncomfortable.
we don't have to go through this if you don't want to. I'm just trying to help. And
No, it's fine. I appreciate it. Just a lot of my mind, I guess.
understandable. Zephyrus, you think you could do something with this? He hands the branch over.
Zeph looks at it. He kind of like hefts it up. It's like, I suppose this will work. Should be simple enough. He starts kind of like carving away at it. He's gonna look over at Marcius again and sorry, got distracted. He's gonna look over at Marcius and like, do you want it in a particular style?
Style of peg leg. I do apologize. I haven't had that much experience with all of that.
Right. Do you want it leg shaped? Or more of a peg?
Not to Marcius looks overwhelmed. He says, just whatever's easiest, I suppose. We don't have much time to waste. We need to go find Caylona.
Yeah.
All right. He's gonna start carving. Let's see. How much
Function over
time-
form, which is not something I usually say.
That's fair. Okay. Zeph is gonna try and carve it into like somewhat of a leg shape. It's got kind of like a foot on the bottom. Do I have to roll to see how close I can get it to a leg?
How are we
Survival
gonna
check.
attach it to
Survival check.
Marcius?
We got
Rope.
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 Just stick it on
That's
there.
not how. Okay.
Gravity.
What? I forgot to ask like Marcius why he wanted me to get the wood carving tools.
Making
He
a
could have
leg.
been asking me. He could have been asking me something completely different. He could have been wanting them for something completely different. Now that I'm thinking about it,
We're making a leg.
Hold on, I don't have this. We're making a leg.
Marcius takes a deep
my-
breath, kind of as you are making a leg. He says, "So no one has seen anything like Lauricio before."
Not. No.
Azaka?
I definitely haven't.
He shakes her head.
And I was otherwise occupied when they left. Did anyone see anything? How did they get away? Was it a teleport, a portal?
Big ice dome. I don't know how that can take you anywhere, but they
There
were
is
in.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing inside the dome.
Did you see when they left?
I was busy.
Understandable. Ugh. Marcy's kind of leans forward, runs his fingers through his hair. He says, all right. Well, we know the ice, and we know the ring, and we know who he was, who he maybe still is. That doesn't help us find them. He looks around. I might, does anyone know their magic better than I might, and have something that would give us any clue of where they might have gone?
Jasper kind of just looks down at the ground. I might know somebody, but I really don't like talking to him. And he may be the only one who knows where Caylona's at.
Caylona,
But
Hello.
you're incredibly cold. And at first, all you can experience is just a blank white blue. Before you receive assistance, you know it's Hamakani. He pulls, or just Connie. And Connie pulls you upwards, and then you're able to see as if standing right next to yourself. Looking, this is the same thing that happened yesterday to you. It's the same process. You can't maintain it for very long before the cold just creeps over you and swallows you again. But looking at your face, you can see every detail of it is frozen in perfect detail. Your expression, your clothes, even the little bits of mud that were on your shoes are recreated in ice. Across from you, Mauricio, who was leaning up against a tree, his eyes close, opens them, and they're just glowing that steady blue. His face is completely expressionless as he picks you up and begins walking.
Where?
Is she like conscious? Like not like conscious, obviously, but like since she's watching all of this, is she like consciously thinking, or is it just kind of like a dream state where she's just watching it and can't really think or say anything about it?
You can think, it's like thinking through Ludge, but you can think.
So mainly at first, all she can think is just Lauricio's name over and over. And then it just like echoes through her mind, because that's like the only thing that she can focus on is the fact that her father's standing right there, and not only is he standing there, but he's possessed by probably one of her worst nightmares, and she has no idea how or if it's even really him. And then those are all mostly feelings, because she can't really find words to describe any of it. But after all of that processes and begins to overwhelm and wash over her, she pushes it away and calls for Connie instead, or like tries to reach for her, I guess.
You can feel Connie is there, standing next to you, actively pulling, it seems. You can feel, there's no words necessarily, and when you think back, most oftentimes when you've conversed or pushed Connie away, there haven't been, but just a feeling that Connie is there, pulling you out of your own mind right now.
Kaylona's extremely grateful, because there's been so many times when she's gotten out of her own mind herself, but she's never experienced the mercy of someone pulling her out of the pain and torture that can be being trapped inside your own thoughts. And so she just continues to reach out to Connie for as long as she can.
Connie just like stays there, trying to convey a sense of steadiness, of comfort. You can still tell that there's an undertone of confusion there. Connie doesn't seem to have any idea what's going on either. After about 10 minutes, you feel a sense of exhaustion and their grip starting to slip. So you can feel your thoughts clouding over again, cold seeming to slowly envelop you.
She does not like that, not at all. She can still see everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mauricio is still just walking, just carrying her in some random direction.
Hmm.
Okay.
Looking at him, he doesn't even seem to be breathing.
Oh. Oh. That's terrifying. Okay. It's that moment that Caylona decides that obviously her and Connie are trying really hard to get her out of the situation, but like obviously now is not the time. She has no way to do it, no way to genuinely break herself out of the ice or to escape from whatever this thing is. And so in an attempt to save her energy in hopes to be able to fight back later, because she's a little bit pissed off as well that someone would like dare impersonate someone so close to her, and she lets go.
The ice snaps back around you, and all of a sudden the only thing you can see is just cold blue, and your thoughts slow until they're frozen. Zephyrus.
Hello, it's me.
Survival check for me.
Yes, I got a 13.
A 13. So you managed to get with your tools something, and you are considered proficient in that if you're proficient at woodcutter's tools. I don't know if you just have them or if you're proficient at that.
Yeah, I think I. Oh wait, maybe I don't have. Oh no, hold on.
Well, we'll say you did. You have
Okay,
them,
cool. Oh wait, no,
but
those are my tools. Yeah. Okay, it's fine, and I'm proficient with them, so.
okay, yeah. So you can add your proficiency bonus to that if you're not proficient in
Okay,
survival.
epic. Okay, cool. So that would make it a 15.
Okay, so with a 15, you're aiming more for functionality at speed. You managed to get something that could work fairly quickly.
Cool. Neato.
It still takes an hour or two, but you managed to get that done. What are the rest of y'all doing? To the background of just knife scraping along the wood.
Thinking about how to summon a very bad man.
Presumably trying to figure out how to get to Caylona TM.
Div is quietly keeping watch.
Nephis is kind of trying to organize everyone's stuff that she was carrying last night and like trying to get Kaylona's stuff put away in a way that can be carried easily. And also definitely not snooping. So
Maybe a little snooping.
just a smidge, just for fun.
Face
Ain't
in
nothing wrong.
bag.
Ain't nothing wrong with snooping. It's when snooping becomes stealing that it's a problem.
Just reorganizing her bag for her, you know?
Kaylona's gonna
Yeah.
get her bag back and realize everything has been moved around and is no longer in the correct pockets, and she's gonna be so mad.
Jasper's gonna wander up to Azaka. And just ask, have you ever heard of a weird man with ice powers?
I don't say that I have. This is
Nothing.
not the place one would expect to find ice. She says as she's like wiping away sweat.
Hmm.
If Marcus gets like a second where no one is actively watching him, like Jasper wanders away to talk to Azaka, and Zephyrus is carving, and Div is like looking the other direction, not looking, but
Yeah.
pointing his awareness out into the forest. He kind of reaches for his bag again, and he opens it up and very deliberately starts to like leaf through what's inside. It's almost like actively painful. It takes effort. It's way more concentration than it should, as he has to like keep going back and looking through as he takes out like object after, or not takes out, I guess, but looks through object after object. Those sets of like little onyx figures that they found in Firefinger. His hands like brush over those. That golden ring. He brushes against a monocle, a set of candles. He doesn't remember any of this, or maybe he does. And at the bottom, his hand wraps around this bloody purple glove. And he pulls it out. This one he does pull out and just kind of looks at it. And then he slips it over his hand. And then he goes back to poking at his leg.
Nephis, how thorough are you in checking what's in Caitlyn's bag?
I was gonna ask if I could roll for it. Can I roll for it?
Roll for snooping.
Yeah.
Let's just Caylona, what did she find in there?
And so none of the pockets are like secret or anything. There's just like little small pockets. And probably as you're just like moving the bag around, you hear like two metal things clinging against like the bottom of the bag. And if you reach down and you look at it, you see that there's a fairly large black, like onyx black ring. Like it almost looks like obsidian, but it's too strong to be obsidian. And then almost intertwined with it is a silver ring with diamonds on it that looks much smaller. Probably would have fit Kaylona's hand.
What? Nephis is trying to decide if she should share this information or bring it up later. And she's probably going to not bring it up because she likes to keep secrets, but definitely in her arsenal now. And she's gonna purposely move the rings to like one of the more obvious pockets in the bag. Hey.
We're all friends here.
This is fine and normal.
We're friends.
About an hour, probably an hour and a half of just like sitting here. Marcius takes like a very deep breath. Scott, have I had a long rest?
Yes.
Fantastic. Great. Guess who has more than one hit point again? Anyway. And he's been thinking, right? He's been parsing, he's been trying not to think. But he's a captain, he was a captain, even if it was all a fiction, like he was told, he at least remembers it. And he has to, at the very least, pretend, because that's the whole point of him, after all. And he pretends to know what to do. He looks over at Jasper and he says, I know how you can get him. If you want to ask about Caylona.
I am just scared that if we do get him, we won't get anybody else ever again.
Yeah, I'm starting to be very scared of that too.
Because you're my friend and I don't want to lose you.
Marcius kind of shakes his head. He says, I'm already lost, Jasper. But we don't have to lose Caylona. And I don't know if it knows anything more than I do.
He came back with the ice guy.
I suppose.
So he might know something.
I suppose.
If you're willing to risk it, I'm also willing to. Just come back to us, okay?
I can hear him laughing right now.
He likes to do that.
Marcius kind of just shrugs. He says, listen, you're playing the game. We're all playing the game now. I didn't realize. But he can hear everything. I'm not real. So if you
Sure.
try to kill me now, it will be the only way.
I mean, what do you mean? I mean,
He comes out. Marcius kind of sits back. He says, I don't fully understand any of this either, all right? Only an hour and a half ago, I started to make my choice, and only a day ago, I knew any of this was happening at all. So cut me some slack if I can't explain a psychopath's reasoning. But he wants to win always. And right now we're setting up the perfect rules of a game. You want to talk to him, and it doesn't matter to him, but he could get so much satisfaction. It's all about the control, right?
I
Marcius
guess
kind
that's
of
true.
tugs at his hair. He says, ugh. And the more I try and explain this, the less other options there are, but it's the only thing I can think of.
If he wants to play a game, I'm willing to play. If it'll
No
get
one is trying to kill anybody.
No, we're trying to get our friend back.
We need to move on. That's
From
what we need.
Caylona, Div,
We do not have the time to go on yet another tangent. Caylona
tangent.
will find her way back to us.
And if she doesn't,
Would you rather hundreds of others die from the
Div,
desert?
if she was a corpse, would you care? If she was dead, would you care about bringing her back? Trying to bury her body at that point? But since she's still alive, it doesn't matter to you?
no, wait. Marcius kind of raises his hands. Jasper, listen. Div, listen. I understand. We have to. There are no good options here. All right. We don't know where our friend is. We're always running out of time, always running out of supplies. The end of the world is coming. And we are not equipped to stop it, but we need to try. We need to keep on with our quest. You're right. Of course, you're right, Div. You're thinking of the greater whole, the good of the army, the good of the squad, the good of, I don't know, something. But we can still do this. We can have both. We need to try both. I'm full of thoughts that don't make sense right now. And I know that all of you are scared. And I know that you're worried about making the wrong choice and always regretting it, Div. But
I think you should stop acting like you know me.
Marcius looks devastated. He sits back. I suppose that's fair.
All right, Div, then if you think you know what we need to do, where are we going? What are we doing? If you think Caylona can figure this out on her own, where are we going?
Div pauses for a second, kind of digs back in his brain. There is. I saw it once. A temple, perhaps. A place that can help. There's a name. I know Div knows the name. I do not currently remember the name.
Orolungra.
Yeah, that thing.
Whoa, Div, your voice got really weird for a second there.
Voice of God. We go there. I'm confident there is something that can help, or point us in a direction, or something.
And you know where this temple is at?
This is the temple that you were going to beforehand.
Got it.
That
So
was your original
yes.
destination.
So yes.
Zonka knows where it is.
I mean, Div claims to
faith
know
in the guy.
everything and know what's best for all of us. He thinks Caylona can survive out on her own. Let's continue doing what we were doing.
I do not claim to know everything.
No, but you do claim to know what is right.
I try to do what is right.
When it's convenient for you.
Don't.
I'm sorry. We don't need to be fighting right now. We need to either figure out where our friend is or figure out the origins of this curse and put a stop to it, or fix whatever's going on.
There is no reason why whatever took Caylona wouldn't also be going to the temple.
Why would it be going to the temple?
I don't know.
Is there
So-
a way that we could make it want to go to the temple and then we can just kill two birds with one stone?
I might know a way. But then we are right back to the earlier part of this rather circular conversation. There's a part of my head that
Sounds
is
like
being
we're
very stubborn. Marcius like digs his fingernails into his palm.
it sounds like we're not gonna avoid getting to talk to him. I don't like it, but I vote we bring him back.
I think we should hold off for now.
I mean, we can hold off all we want, but it sounds like we're just delaying the inevitable.
Yes, most likely. Just not now. Please.
I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt to get to the temple first, then if, you know, something comes at us, we'll be better prepared. We can have a sort of fortress to defend rather than being caught in the middle of the jungle against something.
Arceus, do you think you'd be able to hold out until then?
Hold out.
Well, you seem to be stressed and not having a very good time.
Marcius just kind of like he laughs. It's somewhat hysteric. He says, I just found out I am a fiction of someone I don't even know's imagination. I don't think I have any standard for which to reference holding out, but you won't have any trouble from me.
I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from, but don't count yourself out. You may not think you're all that real, but at least to me, you're real enough.
I very much appreciate the sentiment, Jasper, but that means nothing. Sorry. Ugh. It's not about me. Let's go. We need to get to the temple and we need to figure out how to stop this curse, and we need to get to Caylona. And it's all just part of the game, so let's go. Let's
I know, but we have to draw that.
figure out how to get this leg on me, I suppose.
We have to draw this diagram.
Sorry for slowing you down.
Hey, don't be sorry. It happens. This jungle's not the greatest place to be.
More circular in nature.
Certainly not. Marcy shakes his head. We are making good time, at least, for what it's worth. Does anyone... I don't know how prosthetics work. Someone in here maybe does, but it's not me.
Well, for now, just do we tie it on? Oh,
Could I do a roll to see if I could tie it on? In like a secure
Sure.
way? Maybe I
Roll
can
me a
make like
survival
a-
check.
Sweet.
Plus one leg.
Actually, I'll say survival or medicine. I think either fits in this case.
Okay.
Love being the world's absolutely most ineffectual artificer.
well, that's just who's out right now.
That is a 19.
So yeah, I'd say you'd be able to figure it out. You've seen these before, and you've seen people put them on, and so it's nothing fancy, but you managed to get it on there.
Oh yeah.
Certainly not comfortable. Marcius, your speed is cut in half.
I am not fast. I am not fast.
You're also going to have disadvantage on any dexterity saving throws that
Yep.
involve keeping your balance.
Yep. That makes sense, Chief. I have no leg. All right, we're hobbling along.
Jasper is definitely helping. Like one of Mauritius's arms around his shoulder, just to try and to keep up some sort of pace. I don't know, we're this weird 3-armed, 3-8-legged monster now.
Can we get another like stick for maybe a walking stick or like a makeshift crutch? A crutch might have been better.
Should have gotten 2 branches. Dang it.
It's gotten 2 branches.
So, Zaka, as she's going, she says, we can take 2 paths. It will likely take about the same amount of time. We can go through the village of Mblala. It is up on plateaus in the far end of the basement. Or we can continue through the thickest part of the jungle until we cross the Taff. We'll need to cross the Taff even if we go through Mblala. But
What
if
do
we
you
cross-
know about this village? Is there somewhere where we could get more supplies if needed? Or is it just another random camp in the forest, in the jungle that's having issues?
Mblala is made of Chultans, not foreigners. They know
They
how to
might-
live. And they live on the plateaus. They do not live next to a riverbed. If they have supplies, well, they are a small village, but it is a potential that they would have it. If nothing else, there are fewer places to get a view of the jungle than the plateau.
I mean, I don't think it would be a terrible detour. I know we're on a bit of a time crunch.
It is not a detour. It takes the same amount of time.
Well, it'll take time if we stop and supply hunt, right?
That depends on how much time you plan on taking.
Not a lot.
To the village we go.
Hobble, hobble, hobble.
I'm assuming we're leaving the stretcher behind. Yeah.
I don't know. We might need it to tie down somebody.
Just fold that up, stick it in your back pocket.
I would like to take the stretcher. I don't know if we would be able to find a spot to be able to take it.
I mean, we can probably carry it. It's just kind of awkward to carry.
We
You'll
got
have
big
been carrying
canoes.
your canoes as
I was-
well, so you can
yeah,
just toss it in
it's-
there.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh
say
yeah,
we could toss it with the
I forgot about
canoes.
the canoes. Let's go.
I forget about the best part, boat trip.
I know. I forgot about the
Which has
canoes.
been mostly on foot.
Yeah. Hey, they were helpful.
Mileage wise, you're about 50-50 right now.
Cool.
But you go much faster on the water. So you cover a lot of distance much quicker. But you begin hiking back towards, or it's kind of like you did this and so you're coming up around back towards Mblala. And you continue to, and you start to move through trees, the familiarity of just for Nephis, I assume, is carrying the canoe almost all of the time. Azaka is as well. Div, definitely, I assume you take a rotation in there. Jasper was much easier when you had two arms to do that. It's still possible now, though.
Big, strong.
Marcius, you don't think you'd be able to lift anything heavy and maintain your balance. It's hard
Yeah.
enough trying to pick your way through the jungle floors when this wooden leg and you can't feel it at all. So you're trying to manipulate it and it sinks into the ground. And then every time it pulls up, you almost fall over. Let's just say, go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check just to see how long it's going to take you to get somewhat used to this thing.
That's a 5. We are not
you-
in a good, yeah.
Jasper, you're helping Marcius, right? So you have to catch him as he like trips over roots that he hits. He's trying to like manipulate this leg to lift and he can't get it to go quite high enough or it'll get stuck in the mud. And then as he pulls it out, it like falls off his leg and then he has to jam it back on.
Yeah,
and-
he keeps stumbling, getting it caught on stuff, stepping on your foot. The pressure on like whatever stud he has left is like starting to ache, right? We've been walking for hours. The voices in his head are all the louder now. He doesn't know where they're going. He doesn't know what he's done wrong. He doesn't know if any of the people he cares about were real or if he just made them up. And he makes it a good, long, hearty 2.5 hours before he just starts silently weeping as he stumbles along beside you, Jasper.
How silently we talking?
Like just sort of hitched breath and the tears rolling down, not
Got
anything else. He's a little, when he ends up wiping like his face on his hand, he tries to keep the movements from being too jarring so that neither of us lose our balance.
You're getting quite the hang of it. We're doing great. You're doing fine.
He just sort of nods, keeps his eyes on that alien thing attached to him, trying to make sure it goes anywhere near where he wants it to.
Caylona. You feel yourself suddenly stop.
That's it. I just feel a stop.
And then you're in that field of blue. And Connie reaches out to you to try and pull you out again.
She hesitates this time. Because presumably, I mean, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a good enough time that I'm assuming that she could take Connie's hand and like not be exhausted again. But she's wondering how much help it could really do for her. And then
So Connie pulls you out, and there's just like a slight sense of urgency behind it.
oh, okay, so that's what happened.
So you suddenly snap into that awareness again, just feeling yourself pull out of this cold. And you see that Mauricio has stopped, and he sets you down, and then pulls out the dagger across his chest. And then as you look forward, you see that there is a pack of creatures which are prowling around you. There are about 5 of them. They're reptilian in nature. They stand about 7 feet tall with these incredibly large talons on their feet. They have feathers near the sides of their heads, which are brightly colored, and scales, which are brightly colored as well. And they're snarling as they prowl slowly towards where Mauricio is. And his face just remains completely expressionless as they charge towards him. He just rolls to the side, and then he comes up and he holds out the hand with the ring, and this blast of ice just shoots all the way across them. And then when it fades, they are completely encased.
That's exciting.
And then you see his expression, which was just nothing, twitches slightly. And then you see just for a second, his eye flicks back, the one that is an actual eye, flicks back to normal. And it looks at you. It seems like he's looking right at you. And you can see his teeth grit. And he says, never, never. I won't. And then his eye fades again. He goes stock still.
Oh. Oh. Wait, what did he say again? Sorry.
Never. I won't. Not again.
Okay. She doesn't like that. Not at all. That makes her like uber mad. Are his eyes glowing again? Is that the state that he's in.
Yeah,
Is
his
there any
eyes
way
go
she
back
can
to
try and,
glowing.
like, is there any way she can try and like sort of slingshot herself into said person's brain?
Reaching out, you think you could send a message. You don't think you could get inside there, but you think you could communicate the way that you normally would be able to telepathically. You're muted.
Okay. She's gonna instead of using it wisely, she's actually gonna send a message to the voice that she heard the first time that she tried to infiltrate his brain. And and she's gonna say, oh, and that wherever your body is just as torched and as pained as the night that I left you. Just basically a really bad like death wish, like with every feeling of hatred like she could possibly convey, and every image and like feeling she could convey towards that person of all the pain that like she's ever caused them.
You throw that. And then you can hear as that takes up the majority of your energy that's left, and the ice starts to come up over you, and you just hear the response. Oh, you don't mean that, dear. I know you're lying to me. And then you hear another voice in there that sounds like a shout. And that's Lauricio's voice. And it says, you cannot take her again. And then the ice closes over you. The rest of you, you managed to make it a day, and Asaka steers you around one particular clearing that she says is likely to have Jaculi in it. But other than that, you don't find anything else, and you manage to have a day to rest at camp. You make it
No
to
other weird giant stone body parts.
Nope.
Dang it. We got the finger, we got the heart. Just hoping for something cool like a kneecap.
We have
It's
divs.
just a hill. Um, so the next day, unless any of you want to do anything specific,
Marcius continues trying his best.
He's doing great. We're proud of him.
He's trying so hard.
so the next day you continue pushing forward, and then you as you move through, it becomes the familiar sound of constant rain. You no longer have as much food as any of you would be comfortable with having. It's harder to use the rain catchers when you're not on the river, but still possible. You just have to hold them open in the canoes. There are a couple of times where you see like small creatures that peek through. There are monkeys that will hang down occasionally and then squawk at you, or brightly colored tropical birds that start flying away. A lot of these monkeys, you notice, have feathered wings. And long
Incredible.
fur.
We did it. We made it to Oz.
No.
And then they have a pretty similar effect. Some of them like dive near you, but Azaka is there ready for them and wards them off before they can grab anything from any one of your packs.
Monkeys.
But are they gonna steal my money?
They'll steal your Bible. I don't know.
The end of this day, you come out of the trees. By the time Azaka suggests you should camp, and you can see that you are once again on the edge of the Aldani Basin. The sunlight goes behind the horizon. You can hear the swarms of insects, which, by the way, I would just love if I could get some constitution checks. Saving throws from all of y'all. Not Caylona, the rest of you.
Including me?
Included it. Yes.
Okay.
Say
13. Or no, 23. Sorry.
that's
Ah,
quite a large difference.
Yes. Well, there's a very big difference between 8 and 18.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
true.
I got a nat 20 for a 22.
I got an 18.
I got a 7.
Okay.
There's always one.
Zephyrus?
Sorry, I'm getting to it here. Where did I put my laptop?
Laptop.
It's me dog. Okay. That is a 19.
19, okay.
No. Woo.
So once you're there in this particular part of the basin, you can also see what Azaka is talking about as rising up far, far above you are these cliffs, which you can see that there's a small switchback trail that leads up to them. And these cliffs are well over 1,000 feet up into the air. They completely dominate the horizon to your west.
The cliffs of insanity.
Big cliff.
Sorry.
Azaka looks towards you and she says, "This trail is not used often. It is steep and not well maintained. it might be difficult for you. She looks towards Arceus. There's not a lot of room to misstep.
Marcius nods. He says, and we have to cross this not just to pass through the village, but to get to where we're going.
Well, it is the faster way to go over. We could have gone around, but
Yes.
we go right to where we're trying to be.
Marcius kind of taps his not leg on the ground. He says, would anyone I have two suggestions. One, you try to kill me. Two, I make a very good backpack.
I can,
Well, option one
I
isn't
could carry you.
happening.
option one is definitely a no.
I can carry you.
I have multiple arms.
Notably, those multiple arms do not come with a strength score.
Dang. They're just ghost arms.
They're ghost arms that are good for punching, and that's it.
That's it. Dang. Sorry,
And
never
they look
mind.
cool.
They also
Uh,
don't last very long.
Yeah, Div,
Yeah, it's true.
Div, are you able to carry him?
I know that I am blind, but are all of you deaf? I have offered like twice.
You are also very quiet.
Well, I am sorry. My voice box was damaged in the war.
Mine's insured.
All right, so Div, I need you to roll me an athletics check if you want.
Hey,
to
Div,
see something with me.
thank you for doing this. I know you can do it. You're doing great. You also have Bardic Inspiration. It's a D6.
I don't think I needed it because that was an 18 plus 4, but thank you anyway.
Well, you still have it. 10 more minutes.
For 10 more minutes. Very helpful. Hang on, I can roll it right now just for kicks and giggles, just to see how high we can make this go. That was a 1.
We're making sure. Oh, yeah, that was helpful.
23.
23.
Okay. So, Div, you managed to hoist Arceus onto your shoulders and then just start walking your way up the trail. Having claws is convenient in situations like this, as a lot of the precariousness of wearing boots or being, a creature that can't literally dig their claws into the dirt, metal or whatever, or not metal, earth, stone that you're climbing up, depending on the patch. This is real convenient for you. And so you just start climbing your way up. And as the rest of you begin moving up and the crunch of stone becomes familiar, there is still foliage that covers these cliffs with like grass and just greenery and vines that hang down from each ledge. The trail itself is thin, and you can really only go up at single file. And even though this cliff, the incredibly tall, this trail just has so many switchbacks, it feels like you make no progress at all. It takes you well over a mile to get 500 feet up. And you also have to constantly stop because rocks or branches or vines have gotten in the way of the trail, and you have to pause, put them down, and then go forward and clear the trail, which is most often done by Zaka and Nephis, I would assume. But you, after an entire day's worth of effort trying to get up, you finally manage to make it to the top of these cliffs, and then the trail becomes easier and slightly more visible as you move forward. So when you get close to the top, the stone begins to be cut into actual stone steps. And then the stone steps emerge onto the top of the plateau beneath a decrepit wooden gateway. You can see that the gates that sealed this have rotted away, and there's only iron hinges, reinforcing bands that are there, no sign of wood. And then sitting next to the gate in a neat stack is a pile of skulls, human skulls, picked clean of all their flesh and bleached white by the jolting heat, staring up at you on the roadway.
Yay!
Oh, fun.
Lovely.
That's not ominous at all.
Not at all.
Azaka, what does that mean?
Means people are
Azaka's like
dead.
staring at it, and she's just like, nothing good. As you look longer, you can see that it looks like on each of these poles there are signs of something that appear to have been chewing on them.
Well, Marcius, yes, it means they're dead, but unless it's a large multi-headed creature that died right there, these were put by someone or something.
As you look around, you can see that on this top area here, there are what looks to be the remnants of what used to be structures of what could have been small houses, but instead now that's just piles of crumbling stone and decomposing wood lying overgrown with foliage. Looking out, there is enough of it to tell you that this wasn't just a small little village. This was several times larger than the scale of Camp Vengeance. This must have been quite a large settlement. Then looking even further, you can see that the only structure that is still intact is a lone stone hut about 1,000 yards southwest of where you are. And it's at the edge of a boulder field.
I say we go
Yes.
there.
That's mm, well, maybe there's some supplies left in there.
I would start walking, but you know,
You're a backpack.
I'm a backpack.
Backpack. Marcius is the backpack.
So as
The
you,
structure everyone's looking at is out of my range of sight, right?
yeah, oh yeah, you don't know where that is. It's like it's way out.
So everyone's just like, let's go there. And David's just like,
Big stone tower thing.
It's not that big. It's a hut.
Much smaller. Ah, the kneecap.
Marcius kind of taps like Div on the shoulder. He's been shaking basically the whole day. He says, "You can put me down now if you would like."
me to put you down?
What?
Do you want me to put you down?
Yes, please.
Okay. Div will gently put him down.
I am going to hobble in the direction of that hut.
As you get closer, you can see that along with the stone, there are animal hides that are stretched all along the outside, but they're not. They're reptilian in nature. And dangling from the sides, there are various animal skulls as well as wooden wind chimes. These feather totem things that are just floating around, dangling from there, as well as shells from turtles. And you can see that smoke is reeking from the hut.
I would like to knock
And
on the door, please.
when you're about 100 feet away, you see the door opens and something emerges, just hunched over, almost like an animal-like posture. But as you narrow your eyes, you see that it's a human woman who just seems impossibly old, bent over. Her hands are incredibly gnarled, and she moves around the edge of the hut. It doesn't seem like she's noticed you. Her
Does
Hello?
she look like a hag? Like not like not as in I'm insulting her, but like the D&D context of hag.
She does not. She looks to be an incredibly ancient human woman.
I would like to call out then.
What do
Just
you
like, hello?
She like stops, and she looks up, and then she starts hobbling somewhat in your direction. And as she comes towards you, you can see that she has this like rusty orange colored turban that she's wrapped around her head. And her face is painted with streaks of yellow clay that seem to cling to the shape of her own skull, which is pretty tight because her skin is so old, gnarled, and wrinkled. She like hobbles generally in your direction, and you can see by the way that she's looking that she doesn't really know exactly where you are. And then she calls out and she says, "That, oh, what are you here for?"
We're travelers.
What happened here?
She comes up closer to you, and you can see that blinking, she just has these like small little eyes, and they're just covered completely in cataracts underneath, like with these large bags under her eyes. And she says, "It was a real shame. You see, these villagers were picked off by these disgusting, terrible flying creatures from nearby. They would swoop them over, and then they would take them out slowly. Not me, though. I'm too stringy for that. And then she smiles at you, and you can see that she only has like 3 teeth left. And she says, "What wants to eat nanny poo poo? Who are you?"
Marcius dodges the question. He says, "We're, like my friend said, just travelers. We came from all the way across the sea in Eberron. Corvair. Well, that's the planet, Tobin. Anyway,
We're on Eberron.
we're only here to perhaps refresh our supplies. We didn't know what happened. Can you describe, or as best you can describe, these flying creatures you mentioned?"
Oh, yes, of course. Massive, massive things. Big, big wings, these beaks, and these spear-like things. They come down from the sky and sweep them up, run them through, carry them off in them. Large claws, scary things. Having scales, I guess. My eyesight's not the best, you see. And she smiles at you again.
Marcius smiles back. He says, "That's perfectly understandable. Is she describing terrafolk?"
Is she?
Okay, cool. That's my current theory. I don't remember. That sounds like them, but it could also just be like a normal pterodactyl. So
Terrafolk and pterodactyls
Normal
don't look that different,
yeah.
to be fair.
Was it a dinosaur or a dinosaur person?
Don't know. My eyes are bad.
Marcius
Same old lady.
looks over his shoulder towards Div. He says, "I'm afraid we can't stay very long, but is there anything we can do to help you here?"
She frowns and she says, "Oh, we wouldn't be able to stay for a poor old woman. I get so lonely out here sometimes. But if you want to help, well, there is something, but I couldn't ask you to do it. We're strangers, we've just met."
Marcius sort of chuckles. He says, "Well, how long has it been since you saw anyone else? Not to be dour, but maybe we could make company enough that we won't be too much of strangers. And we do want to help."
She like sits there and stares off into the distance for a little while, and she says, "It's been
What?
it's been long. It's been a long time."
I'm sure. He sort of remembers the skulls. A long time since what?
Since I saw another person, the last
Hmm.
living villager was carried off a long time ago.
I'm deeply sorry for your loneliness and your loss. You must have known them.
Yes, I did. Very sad. Very sad.
What's your name?
She like blinks at you for a second. Nanny Poo Poo.
Incredible. I love her.
Yes, that's
Um,
it.
Marcius kind of bows a little dramatically. He says, "Very nice to meet your acquaintance. I'm sometimes called Marcius. This is my friend Jasper, Nephis, and Zephyrus, and Azaka.
Hello.
Hello.
See, they're a little odd, but happy to meet you too. Now, really, what can we do?
She cocks her head to the side, and she says, "Well, they haven't come around for a while, but on the south side of this plateau, oh, it would make me feel awful for asking this, but there's there's still a nest of those little creatures."
The infestation
you-
remains. I understand.
If you're truly inclined on charity, then you could get rid of them for a poor old woman whose village has been killed.
Marcius contains aside.
I personally would love to help. We are on a very important mission. We could handle it on the return trip.
Interesting implication that we are going to live, but I like that plan.
Hey, if I can delay this to after we're dead and just please make Nanny Poo Poo happy for now.
I love her so much.
And she just lets it aside and she says, if you can't do it now, I suppose people understands. Maybe you could at least keep me company for a day."
Somewhat like against his like not consciously, somewhat unconsciously, Marcius just like sits down in the mud, extends his not leg in front of him. He says that we've been hiking all day, right?
It's been a trust.
The
Just
royal we,
we-
Jason.
We.
He says, well, we do need a place to stay. You seem like finer company than the not quite as empty as we would hope jungle.
Tell me, Nanny Poo Poo, when was the last time you've heard a good story, listened to a great song?
She like blinks at you. I can't remember.
Do your thing,
Well,
Jasper.
Jasper's just gonna start breaking out into song, just probably singing the story that he told all the soldiers, because it's the freshest thing in his mind still.
She smiles as you're going, and she like slaps her hands when she's done, and she says, "You should give me another one. That was excellent. Yeah."
Oh, I've got plenty. And he racks his brain on another song. And probably as best he can is playing his war drum Probably still has it strapped to where he can reach it. Not as great as I used to be. One arm is a lot harder than two. But here goes something. Jauntily plays another song.
She smiles as she listens to it. Are the rest of you all just sitting there as well?
Jasper also has a really big smile on his face.
Yeah, I'm at least just sitting there.
Div is standing in the
Same here.
background. He's nearby. He's just not. He's
Quick,
keeping
search
an eye on everything else.
Quick, search for supplies, guys. I'll distract the old lady.
She's blind.
She can hear. You're blind.
That's different. You can't cure my blindness.
I am not an eyeball surgeon. I can't cure her blindness either.
I could cure her blindness.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
Listen, lesser restoration cures blindness.
Do we presume that there are any surviving supplies? It's been a really long time, apparently, but maybe they've got bug spray. But does bug spray have a long-lasting expiration date that we can steal from the dead?
Make me, so are the rest of you other than Jasper kind of like picking up and searching, or
I'm not going anywhere. I'm in the mud.
Div is sticking by Jasper and Marcius.
I will.
I can help search.
Yeah, I'll search around.
okay? So so you two kind of like go off to look around, and then the three of you are sitting around with her, and after you finish another song, he says, "Oh, that reminds me of something. I should go get it for you nice young people."
Thank you.
And she hobbles off into her hut. Zephyrus, you're walking into this building, and it's just like, it's not really a building anymore. It's more just like behind this set of boulders, there's a old, decrepit, just a husk of what used to be a house. And you're plucking through it when you hear a voice behind you, and it says, "You may be a skinny one, but that was got somewhere, don't we?" Finish it for me.
Yeah.
Oh
Can
no.
we not have 2 minutes? Zephyrus, if you die, I'm killing you.
I know.
You should yell really loud. Like just
Screaming is a
absolutely
free
holler.
action.
Screaming is a free action.
It's a free action.
Screaming is a free action. Scream loudly.
Help.
Is
Help.
crying a
Yeah,
free
please.
action?
Please don't try to kill the yeah, sorry. I just like to assume that people don't want to hurt me. In the past, that has not gone very well.
I hate this jungle.
I'm assuming this one does. Yeah.
So what'd you get on initiative?
Oh, I was supposed to be rolling. Sorry.
Yeah.
My brain tonight is gone.
We all seem to be a
Let
bit fried.
me- brought my dice with me. I should like find those. Here they are. D20.
You got this, Zephyrus.
Thank you.
Kill the old lady.
Kill the old. No, yell loudly and then kill the old.
Yell
Oh,
loudly
yeah.
and then kill the old lady. I got a 21.
The 21. Okay, so you whip around and you see nothing.
Nothing?
And
Are
then
you
you feel your AC is less than 24, yeah.
yes, yes. Is that even a question, Scott? Yes.
It's a fun question. I get to ask it sometimes.
Oh my
Um,
god.
He looks at Monk. Hey, your AC is less than 24, right?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
Weather
No
boy.
weather boy.
So you feel just pain as claws scrape across your, and you are going to take 12 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
And yell.
And scream.
Ow.
As appearing from thin air, just used to be, you see Nanny Poo, but her hands, which were already gnarled and had long fingernails, have grown out several inches long, and they've gotten sharpened, and she's no longer stooped, but she still has the same appearance of this just incredibly decrepit old woman. But she's grinning at you with just her couple of remaining teeth. It is your turn.
No, thank you. I think I will yell very loudly. Actually,
Scream,
I
thank
would
you.
like to yell very loudly.
What are you yelling?
And sorry, hold on. He probably just screaming like, ah, the old woman was evil.
The old
I knew
woman
it.
was
I
evil.
knew it.
I knew it. I knew I couldn't trust you. Help! Help me, please.
Jasper comes a running.
Yeah.
She,
Yeah,
so
this is
Nephis,
going
you're
be a
close
thing
to
of
her.
Yeah, I hear her, right? Well, I hear him.
Yeah, you hear, you're able to hear that easily. The rest of you are a little distracted as she just clucks her tongue and she lets out a sharp whistle, which pierces all the way across the night. And then you see the earth next to her cabin, the three of you, well, as also Mazaka's with you. The four of you who are there, as all of a sudden there's a sharp
A shark.
in
What?
shift underneath the earth itself. And then you see a hand pushes its way from out from underneath it, a large hand, and then another hand out from underneath the earth and shoving itself out. You can see a creature that appears to have been stitched together.
Gross.
With various corpses.
Ew.
I
As it
don't
comes
like
out of the
that.
ground and
I don't-
stomps towards you.
I don't like
Y'all
that.
roll the initiative now. Let's just get
Yeah.
some orders going on in here. Just put it in the chat for me. That'll be the easiest.
Should I roll initiative too, or am I running, Graham?
Yeah, Nephis, you
Look
roll
at all of
initiative.
us. Like, real
Epic.
close to each other. 17.
Sweet. So Between Marcius and Div, which one of you wants to go first?
She probably
I'm
has higher
sitting
dex.
on the ground, so I'm gonna say probably Div.
No leg.
No leg? No leg? I got no leg.
All right. So Nephis, yeah, you're first.
Awesome. So I'm gonna run over to where I heard the scream, and do I see the crazy lady attacking my homie?
You do.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna rage. And because I'm gonna rage, I'm actually gonna implement something from level 3 that I've actually had this whole time. It just you didn't see it. So some
Subclass,
once I
baby,
rage,
subclass.
some spectral warriors are gonna pull up around me, and they just look like
Ancestral guardian. I'll stop.
No, you're good. They're amazing. I love them so much. Almost all of them have a weapon in hand, and they're all human. Because that's what I am. But they're pretty awesome, and they're going to surround the area. And I'm gonna try to hit the lady. She sucks. Does a 17 hit?
A 17 will hit. Go ahead, roll your damage.
Yes. Let's go. Okay. Wait, what dice? Oh yeah, this is the dice I need. That's gonna be a 13 damage.
Sounds good. So you just like come up charging behind her and you just deliver this big slap across her, and she lets out just like a grunt, and then she looks at you and you can see that her eyes have gone just a piercing yellow. Cataracts are gone. And she says, just like as she licks her lips, "Yeah, me too. You asked me which."
I'm not for eating though. Haha. So
Oh yeah.
also
your turn.
now real quick, she has disadvantage on attack rolls that aren't against me. And if she hits Zephyrus, then Zephyrus has resistance.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Trying to get my character sheet back up. Okay. I'm going to do a thing. Hold on, what's this do? Okay. I am going to slice and dice.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Slice
Oh
her
yeah.
up.
Oh wait. Hold on. Hold on. Forget that I can do punchies. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna punch. I'm going to summon my arms of the astral self.
Let's go. We have so many
And-
astral things going on right now. So great.
Yeah, this is so cool. Team up. And I'm going to do flurry of blows, I believe.
All right. Make me some attacks. 3 of them to be precise.
Wow, 3 of them. That's so many. Okay. Well, that first one was a 6, so that's probably not too much. That was a 6. Whatever. 6 plus 4, so that's a 10 for the first. 19 plus 4. That one will probably hit.
23.
23. Thank you.
Yeah, got it.
And then 8 plus 4, which is 12. So that's 10, 20, 23, and a 12.
So the 23 will hit, and the other two will not.
Dang. Okay, that's fine. Okay, where did my, oh my gosh, I just had my dice bag and it's gone. Oh, there it is. Okay. Do 1d4 plus 2. That's 4 damage for that, which is a shame.
Okay, so yeah, you hit with these attacks, and when your astral arms hit, at first they seem to just go right through her, and then you manage to just like concentrate more, make it more solid, and then actually hit her, and she just kind of grunts a little bit, but it doesn't seem to bother her too much.
Neato.
Then
Oh.
and she just kind of like smiles at you and at the two of you, and she says, "A light show, exciting. Haven't seen that in years." Then back where the other three of you are, Azaka just like leaps up, her sword's out of her sheath. She's ready to go. And she charges towards this thing, and she slams her sword into the hand as it's like emerging from the earth, and it bounces off. And then she hits it again, and it bounces off. And then she kind of backs up and she says, that might be a bit of a problem. I don't think I can hurt it.
Is she attacking the hag or the flesh thing?
The flesh.
Weird flesh thing.
Flesh thing. Cool.
Okay, fun times there.
Jasper.
How big is this thing? Can't tell, it's still partly underground.
Yeah.
Cool. How close is everybody around it? I'm hoping not that close, right? You guys aren't
Azaka's
right
somewhat
next to it.
close to it, but Azaka has very intentionally put herself in front of the rest of you.
Cool. She can handle this though. It's okay. Jasper kind of starts to yell, and his voice gets higher and higher, and this thing needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Which thing are you casting?
Shatter.
Okay, shatter will work.
Yeah.
Right, it will make that in a second once I grab a d20. Okay, here we go. What's your spell save DC, Jasper?
Less than whatever you're gonna roll. 13, by the way.
Okay, he's gonna fail.
Cool. He takes 15 points of thunder damage.
Okay, so
And whatever ground, I mean, it
Oh,
has
sorry.
funky things.
my bad.
On,
Oh no, okay, yeah, he goes.
has funky things on non-magical things like the dirt, but I don't know if that does anything.
Yeah, so you blast the dirt away as this corpse creature holds itself out, and it's not particularly tall, but the thunder damage doesn't seem to have bothered it terribly. Anything else on your turn, Jasper?
That's it. I'm just gonna kind of stay back,
Yeah.
wait for everyone else to figure out what's going on.
My turn. Great. Div is not happy.
Is he ever?
He
Not
was once.
Not since we've entered Sharn.
He used to be once. He was happy at one point. I don't know if he remembers that, but he was at one point. Here's what we're gonna do. Would guiding bolt work on this thing?
You don't know.
Try it and find out.
Oh, so Jasper gets to know if shatter will work on it, but
I didn't know. I just cast a spell.
Yeah, that was me checking to see if there was even a saving throw that was gonna get rolled.
fair enough, I guess.
Jasper had already tried. You'll find out when you do it.
Are you attacking the flesh golem thing? I'm assuming it's a flesh golem. It might not be. The
Oh, it's
undead
absolutely a
thing.
flesh golem. You're gonna have to look at that thing and tell me it's not a flesh golem. That's a flesh
Jason,
golem.
I'm just
No.
gonna remind you that ignore me if you want, but also turn undead, possibly.
I don't have that yet.
Okay,
You got
fair
that
enough.
at third level, Jason.
You know. Do I?
You do.
Did I just forget to write that down?
It might be too high CR for it to do anything.
Don't think
Turn
a
on
flesh
Dead doesn't
golem
come
is,
with the
like, less
CR.
than whatever it is.
Oh, hell
you're
yeah.
Thinking,
Oh, it's the destroy
I
undead.
think
That's the later thing. Yeah. Cool. We're chilling. We're
Yeah,
chilling.
I get it.
I just think you could just make him go away.
Or hear me out. I could kill the hag.
You don't see the hag. The hag is not near you.
Oh fuck.
You heard Zephyrus scream. You can run and go help.
I
I assume.
yeah, I could run away and leave my two half men just sitting here. Sorry,
Don't
three
worry
quarters
about it.
men.
We have Asaka with us. It's fine.
I really don't think that that's true.
You have holy damage. This might help either situation.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What do you
Do
wanna
your
do?
thing.
I'll try to guiding bolt this thing.
Do
All right, make
what
it to
you
hit.
think is the right choice. That's just good life advice.
That is so average. It's a 10. I don't think that's gonna hit it.
10 will hit.
Oh really?
Mhm.
Cool.
Got it. Whack this thing.
Please let the damage be good. We're off to a decent start.
Is that a spider or a shadow?
Eat it and find out.
It's on the ceiling. It's too far away.
Eat it and find out.
It's too far away.
That's 18 radiant damage.
All right, so yeah, you blast this thing with just this like fiery beam that shoots from you, and it hits it, and there's just a sizzle on impact, and kind of like moves back, and one of its shoulders is much larger than the other, and it lets loose just like a groan. And then I'm going to do that. That's all right, and then unless you want to do anything else, Dave, that's your turn. We are on to
I think I
Marcy's.
can also cast spiritual weapon.
So
It's a bonus action.
as a technicality, you couldn't because it's another level spell in the same term. But as we've already acknowledged, I have elected to ignore that rule. And if you want to do that, yeah.
I think I will.
Rule of cool, Scott.
Yes, it will make a ghost of his mace, and then that ghost of the mace will attempt to bonk.
All right, make it hit.
Yeah, that's much better. 17 plus 4, I think hits.
Yeah, it does.
Surprisingly, the
I
10
think
hit, but that doesn't.
Disappointing.
Yeah, this thing has an armor class range. You have to get from like 10 to 13 or you miss.
We got 4 more damage. What kind of damage is that? Is that just bonk damage?
Add your wisdom to it.
And
it is force.
For force, okay. It is just bonk damage, okay. Yeah, that's what I was not remembering. Yeah, we got 4 more damage.
All
Of
right,
course,
yes, so
it's
just
the magical bonk.
hits it slightly there. Okay, Marcius.
Awesome. How y'all feeling about just leaving?
Right.
Do you want, like, if we
need
all
the,
just like whoop, like,
yes, but the other 2 need to also go whoop with us.
yeah, but if we went to them, you know, my speed is halved, so I'm not very good at whooping. But I
True.
do.
Well, if
I am
you
just
start
wondering.
moving, then I can like whoop and just like grab you on the way of whoop.
Okay, if you
Like, I
wanna,
can
if
just, like,
on your
hoist
turn,
you over
if we're
one
all in
shoulder and
agreement
pull
to go whoop to where Zephyrus and Nephis is, I think that we better possibly than hanging out here.
With whatever this is.
With whatever this is. I want to
I'm gonna
bring
name him
attention
Gerald.
to how completely useless I am right now.
You got
Just,
magics, come on.
I might as well be like a level 1. Just we're not doing great, Chief. Okay, so Marcius is going to stand up, kind of scramble to his feet as best he can, his foot as best he can, try to reach into the bag. His hand goes not where he wants it to, just kind of curse, and like rifle around in the bag again, until he finds the little dragon. And he like holds it in his hand, stares at it for a second, and then he's going to cast Firebolt.
Okay, make it to hit.
See,
Can
not
we talk
completely
about
useless.
how much of a terrible move it was for Kamakani to give away like our best weapon? He just got rid of it. He hates Marcia, so he got rid of the cane, and now I don't know what to do here, Chief. I hit.
It's fine. You weren't proficient with it anyway.
All right,
I
what was your
deal-
damage there?
9 fire damage.
All right, as you hit this thing, and the flames come up, it lets loose this roar, and starts to stumble around as it kind of burns over. It does not seem to like that at all. Then it stumbles forward and it goes towards the person who's in front of it, which would be Azaka still. And it lands into her. For the first time in my long career of DMing, I actually have to keep track of Azaka's damage.
She
And
can get harmed by this thing.
hits her, and she lets out just like a
She-
visible. She seems to be fine still. Like she's very much fine, but you can see that there's bruising. Like it hits her across the side of her face, and you can see the side of her face bruised. That's the only time you've seen her be injured at all.
Let's not get
I'm
hit
gonna
by this thing.
use my reaction to reduce that a little bit, because we're only fighting one enemy, so I might as well do this now. Hold on. 5 goes down by 5.
Okay. Sounds good. That happens. And then it swings at her again. But it seems to still be startled from the fire. And now that she sees that she actually has to avoid this thing, she does. As it slams down, you can see like the earth's face where it hit, leaving a big indent. But she's still up, and she just like looks towards you all with just like this confused expression on her face. And she just like rubs it and she says, that feels strange.
That would be pain, apparently. Are you all right?
And she nods and looks back, just kind of cocking her head towards this thing. And then Poo-Poo is going to, she was going after you, Zephyrus, and she doesn't know what the spirit things do yet, and so she sees you as the easier target, so she's gonna go after you still. Is a, let's see, 13's gonna miss, right?
I think that might actually be my AC. Does that mean that it misses?
Yeah, meter beat.
Oh, sweet.
So what's your AC?
13.
13. Okay, so then she'll hit.
Oh,
That's with disadvantage?
She don't have disadvantage. Oh yeah, she does have disadvantage. Let's see.
She does
Oh, it's
because
actually
the
not.
spirits.
That's right, she does. I forgot about that. Okay, so then yeah, she's going to miss, so she's gonna get an 11 instead. So she swings at you, but one of these spirits just steps in and shoves her backwards, and she just like growls at it.
Nephis, can we be ghost buddies?
Sure.
Yay!
Okay, Nephis, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm just gonna hit her again because that's a 22 to hit, so that's 6.
That'll hit.
Let's forget what you guys. No. Okay. It's only gonna do 3 damage.
Can you even do that little?
I think
While in a
so.
rage?
Because what's your
Because it gives
strength?
me +2 to rage, right? And
Yeah,
then,
and then what's your strength?
oh, I haven't been adding my so actually no, yeah, that'll be 6
Hmm.
damage.
Okay.
Oh,
I was like, I don't
yeah,
think Nephis can
that'll
deal that
help.
Oh my
little.
gosh.
Our barbarian can deal minimum 3. That feels wrong.
Jeez, how did I forget to add my strength? Well, I'm making a note so I never forget again. Great.
Okay, yeah, so you like chop into her and she dodges backwards. Just kind of storming at you. She still seems to be doing pretty okay. But then she stops and she starts stroking her chin and she like looks around at you too, and she puts her fingers together and she says, "Now, Nanny Poo-Poo doesn't like to eat food that's so tough and chewy."
Good.
Well, we probably would be very tough and chewy food, so guess you should just die and not eat us.
Oh, Nanny Poo-Poo doesn't want to do that either. And as she's got like her fingers tented, Zephyrus, it is your turn if you want to do anything, by the way. Lawless.
yeah. Let's see.
Can she be convinced to not eat them?
Do you not?
Doubt it, but I mean. I will say Nephis is not the most charismatic person, so if anyone's going to be convincing her, it'll be Zephyrus.
I'm fighting a flesh golem. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I guess I could try. You could just not. What would it take?
And
What would it take to get you to not eat us?
she like looks at you, and she says, You're skinny anyway. It's worth the effort.
Very skinny.
A little meat. What about the green one? Seems exotic. I would like to take that one. That seems fair. I don't want the metal one.
No.
Doesn't seem edible at all.
No.
I would be a delightful snack.
Div, that's not helping. um, was so it was like, no, most of us roll muscle, so I'm not sure that we taste correct.
But to eat walking. a
And we're all
bunch.
sweaty. And it's been a time.
She
So unless you have a bunch of food that you could give to us to fatten us up. What?
Oh,
He's back.
Yeah, it just spontaneously
He
kicked
has
me out for some reason.
returned?
that's
Anyway,
fine.
so she like looks towards you and she says, "No, I don't have. Why I'm trying to eat you."
Well,
Well, she looks towards you and she says, "You're all bad meals anyway." Roll me a persuasion check. Zephyrus.
Okay.
got this.
You can do it.
Nice go. Oh my god. Swear to God, my brain. It's just gone. What was that? Oh boy. Oh, and of course I just found my good die right after I roll. Okay. Second.
Man does
Was
math.
an 8 plus 1. That was a 9.
Bro,
Not great.
no.
I mean, to be fair, that's
Can
about what I
Nephis help?
expected from
Can
you.
Yeah,
Nephis-
can I?
Come on.
Enough is
Can there be
healthy.
advantage since I was?
Sure. I'll let that happen.
Cool.
And if
I'll roll with my good die this time.
all the good vibes.
Okay, that's a
And-
12 this time.
We're making Fallout speech checks.
the one who's really good at this is not there. My whole
Hmm.
character is persuasion.
She just like looks at you and she says, maybe. Well,
Hey,
Maybe.
she like looks, and she says, "Well, Nanny Poo Poo has a deal for you."
Has a what? What did she say?
A deal. She has a deal.
Oh, a deal.
A
Okay.
deal. Awesome.
I thought you said something else, and I was
Yeah,
concerned.
let's just make deals with a hag. You know, that nothing could go wrong.
And she
No,
What
says,
you say?
"Nanny Poo Poo will leave you alone, and you will go away. In the jungle, things don't live very long. And right now, it's especially hard to bring them back. Nanny Poo Poo will do it for you."
Madam, I
When-
can't understand you.
yeah, can you say that one more time? I'm
You said that
sorry.
one more time.
She says, in the jungle, things don't live long. Things tend to die. When one of you dies, Danny Poo Poo can bring you back.
Oh, so she said if one of us dies, then she'll bring the body back there to eat. Is that what she said?
No.
Okay.
She says I mean, like phrase-wise that you can interpret that's what she said, but that's not what she means.
She means
If one of us
bring us back
dies-
as a flesh golem demon thing, resurrect us as undead.
Oh,
And she says, Danny Poo Poo can do it with memories, not just
Didn't understand that one either.
You guys can't understand ancient hags. What's wrong with you?
It's just not agreeing with the Zoom.
The
Yeah.
technology, like
The
the language
microphone thing
barrier.
does not like the voice.
But she looks towards you and she says, when one of you dies, you can bring them back. Nanny Poo Poo. If on your way back, you kill the flying creatures in the caves, then I will bring them back for you.
Oh.
As
Then
far
they'll
as
keep
we
their
do
memories.
know- Yes.
I can do it even with the curse.
Even with the curse.
Yes.
Incredibly suspicious.
I feel like before we make a deal, we need to talk to the rest of our group. Don't you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
She clicks her tongue and she says, no. You make deal now, or you lose the chance. And maybe some ribs.
Just say yes. There's a couple of conditions that have to be met for this deal, you guys. Just say yes.
Say yes to not getting eaten.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't want to get cooked or whatever the frick she's gonna do.
And
So
as Zephyrus like looks to Nephis, it's like,
yeah, Nephis is just
Alright.
gonna look at Zephyrus and be like,
okay. The shrug. Zephyrus takes a breath, like, oh, all right then. I suppose we accept that deal.
She just like looks up and she says, "We'll see you soon with the cards." And then she waves her hand just once at you and then vanishes.
Bye.
Was probably a bad idea.
And what
yeah.
about the flesh golem?
It suddenly stops moving and then just turns around and goes back into where the grave was.
Cool. Great. Fantastic.
Ah,
Sick.
Div, we
Hate
did it.
Marcius looks for a moment like he wants to just hurl that wooden dragon as hard as he can at the nearest hard object, but he stops himself.
I think Div is the closest nearest hard object.
Not Div. He's not throwing. He wouldn't throw it at Div. He's not throwing it at anything. But his face twists for just that instant before he takes a breath. Well, it's gone. Where are the others?
I heard screaming. Jasper's gonna run over to where the screams were coming from.
We sh-
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Artistic
We're
rendition.
echolocating.
Yep.
What's going on in
Hello.
here? Is everything
Hello.
okay? Where
We're fine now.
yeah.
What?
We made a deal with a devil woman.
Yeah, she was trying to kill us so she could eat us.
Oh,
But we
That's-
negotiated.
hey, negotiations. Well,
We do have to kill the weird bird dinosaur people. Unfortunately.
It doesn't
I
know about the
don't
Um,
want to do that.
She said that we could do that on the way back, though, right?
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
On the
Okay.
way
On
back.
the way back.
So
Okay,
a little.
that's
the fact that you guys misunderstand the deal and that Div doesn't know about the deal, but I understand the deal is so frustrating. Listen, guys, the deal was if one of us dies and we come back and kill the things, then she will be able to bring the person who died back. That is the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're
That
not
is a
gonna
lot
get
of
eaten.
ifs.
Mm-hmm.
She never said anything about like if we did nothing.
I don't know. As long as we don't have to fight a hag, I'm okay.
The moral of the story is we're not going to get eaten, and
Yep.
That's
that's
a good
what
moral.
matters.
Quick thinking.
Div would be a very crunchy bowl of cereal.
Yeah. Hot
That's
soup.
this kind.
Can I? She's gone. I probably shouldn't go rooting around in her house. That would probably be poking the
Enough,
bear.
Enoch.
I'm gonna hobble off in any direction.
In any.
Yeah,
Just any.
literally towards the nearest thing that could be counted as a wall / building / object behind which I can just kind of hang out. I'm going to
And
go
you're
there.
able to go behind a boulder. You're able to find that. You can just kind of tuck in.
Marcius puts one hand on the boulder, and he's holding the dragon very, very tightly. And he kind of sinks down to one knee again. Takes a very long, a very deep breath, and then another one. And he just kind of starts to whisper to himself, or maybe to the voices in his head. We're just gonna chill there.
Well,
Don't- And this was the village Asaka was talking about, right?
And it's much larger than a village. You can tell by the ruins.
Well, it's not much of one anymore.
Yeah.
There's gotta be some bug spray somewhere in here.
Yeah.
There's like a
Jasper's-
large old cistern that sits in the middle. And yeah, if you're looking around, then you can go back and you can make me some perception checks.
Is the cistern full of
I'm
bugs?
gonna do that.
let's do it.
Ooh, a nat 20
Wow.
plus 1. 21. To
All right.
look for stuff.
Jasper, you managed to find a couple of blocks of what looks like the incense form of the bug spray.
Cool.
While it will put up a haze around you.
Yeah,
Nephis,
I'm gonna take those.
all of a sudden, you
Oh.
have a chance to have a break. You feel like really cold all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
And it starts getting harder to breathe. Just an exhaustion that penetrates your muscles. And your teeth start chattering.
I will kind of like, because I've been searching, but I'll kind of like find a spot to sit down. And is anyone else near me, or am I by myself overall?
I would say that I would be probably near you because we were just
Okay,
vibing.
yeah, that makes sense. I will say to Zephyrus, I'll say, I think I need to sit down for a second.
How
Your
does Nephis work?
your vision starts to blur.
Oh God.
Shapes kind of fuzzing.
Nephis, are
out.
you all right?
I'm gonna like kind of fall on the ground more, then sit on it and be like,
Oh.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh no. Div. I don't think. Oh no. I don't think Nephis is doing all right.
Hang on, let me get my lesser restoration ready.
Zeph is probably gonna like kind of kneel down next to her. Like, Nephis, I need you to tell me what's wrong.
I feel really cold. And I just don't feel good.
Zephyrus, you can
Okay.
hear her teeth chattering.
All right.
Despite the just oppressive heat.
Do we have a blanket? Div, I'm not sure what to do. She seems really cold. Can I like feel like her forehead or something? Is she burning up? Is she freezing?
She is burning up.
Oh, cool.
Yay, fevers.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, God.
But then as you feel that, you can see that her forehead kind of starts to grow cold. And you think that that heat might have just been from cold.
Okay. 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 Can I do a medicine check?
Sure. Are you proficient in medicine?
I don't know.
I'm proficient in medicine.
He's calling you.
I'm not.
Div is making his way over there, I swear.
I got a 19 though.
It's something is wrong there.
Something's wrong. Okay.
But you just have no skill base, you just don't know. Div, yeah, you make your way over there.
Cool. Can I like look and see what, like, try to see what's happening?
Sure, make me a medicine check.
Cool, great. Please. Why is this always happening? The 6.
You've got no idea.
I know.
Oh no.
Can I cast Lesser Restoration anyway and just see if it works?
Sure.
Great.
So yeah, Div, you reach down. What does restoration look like when you cast it?
Div comes to sit down next to Nephis, kind of like vaguely presses his body against her. He's very warm. I'm sure it feels very nice as Nephis is dying of hypothermia. And he kind of just like reaches over a little bit and just like touches her like arm or something, and it's just this very like calm like wave almost of like that golden flame, that kind of like gently flaws crawls across her skin. That's the word.
As it goes across your skin, Nephis, you feel a warmth return to your body when it crosses over your eyes. Clarity returns to the world. You seem to kind of figure out where you're standing before you were like dizzy, disoriented. You didn't really know what was going on. And then as the flame fizzes off to the other side, it's completely gone.
Nephis will let out like a deep sigh and sit up almost immediately and look at Div and say, "Thank you."
Div nods and he'll get up and then he'll look at Zephyrus. How bad does Zephyrus look?
What just happened? What just happened?
Besides, you mean
That's
with
how
or without
Zephyrus
the
looks.
existential crisis?
Something happened. I'm concerned. I'm at 19 hit points, so I'm like, no, I'm a little more than half. But
Okay.
Nephis, are you all right?
Nephis will like nod, but you can tell that she's a little shaken up by the whole experience. But she's trying to not make it seem like that is how she feels.
Right.
The amount of repression in this party.
There's so much. If you
Zeph, you got 11 hit points back.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, bro. That's so nice.
Div like gets up, he nods to Nephis, and then he just like walks past Zephyrus and like puts his hand on Zephyrus's shoulder briefly. And just most of Zephyrus's wounds clear up. He just walks away.
Thank you, Div. Thank you. I appreciate you. Nephis, if all right. Well, if you feel worse or bad later, I'm here. So let me know.
Thank you. I will.
Perfect. Great. I'm going to go sit down and do something.
Sit down.
Guess we should continue the search for things and hopefully more bug spray.
Gotta get this bug spray.
Just as normal things in the jungle.
Just hear Jasper. Aha! This one stinks. It stinks like bugs. Anti-bug.
This year
Jasper.
one's got that anti-bug stink.
Yeah. Jasper
Jasper.
holds up the incense he found. I think this will help.
Azaka looks at it and she says, "It is old, but it should at least function."
Yay.
Hopefully it'll last a while.
These typically last about 20 days. The difficulty with them comes from keeping incense lit in, well, she kind of just gestures here. Starts to
Look
run.
in Div's mouth.
It starts to rain. as she
Jasper
just-
kind of looks at Div and then looks away. No. That would be rude.
Hey Div, do you want to be the incense burner?
Just steps on Div's foot like a trash can. Just flips open and Jasper just plops an incense in there. That'll work.
He's probably
No.
got like a little indent somewhere. He's got like a built-in incense holder.
It's
on,
called
like,
his
his
mouth.
forehead.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you
like
want to stick it in like the hole in his chest.
I was picturing like a unicorn horn situation.
Div, would you? I don't want to just assume, and I don't want anything to be uncomfortable for you, but would you be able to keep this lit for a long period of time?
Possibly.
We will. Well, you are very warm. I don't know what goes on inside of you. You've put off a lot of steam before. I don't know if that would do, if you could do that with this, but I don't want to assume. I'm sorry, that was rude.
How would you suppose I keep it lit?
Don't know. You've got weird warm fire in you, right?
I suppose.
I'm sorry. We'll find something.
Funniest thing I've ever heard.
Div is so confused.
You are made of fire. Are you not lava?
I am apparently made of metal.
Do you have any ideas as to how we could keep it lit in this rainy jungle?
No.
Oh, well, I guess we will burn that bridge when we get to it.
I thought the whole point is that you cannot burn much in a very wet jungle.
So whose bright idea was it to make incense to repel the bugs in the jungle?
The incense isn't for the bugs, the incense is for the city. Which is why we found it in a city.
That makes sense.
I love learning cultural applications of fun little chemicals. Not me, obviously. Me, myself, not the Constellation.
Tobin like learn.
I really do like that. Yes, a lot. Fun fact. So much.
So now that you have a chance to breathe and look around, you can see that even at night, these cliffs of Mblala provide quite an excellent view of everything that goes on. You can just see the jungle canopy out from below, the mist drifting up from it. Even though it is raining, you can still see some break in the clouds that allow you to see stars that you haven't been able to see for a couple days because of the trees that are typically in the way. You haven't seen them since you were on the basin. And Nephis, except for a couple of days when you were really out in the middle of nowhere on an assignment, this is easily the best view of the stars that any of you have ever seen. The predicted cannot. But you just hear, all the creatures coming out from beneath you, and you can even see that the heart floating off in the distance.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I hate that guy.
And then the night fades, and we will stop there for this week. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week for another session of Dust of the Past.